Detroit Pistons select Cade Cunningham from Oklahoma State.
Alright Pistons fans, so in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys the real reason why the Detroit Pistons decided not to bring in Bol Bol. The last video I did on this, I was just being a fan. I let you guys have the emotions, my personal opinions on how I feel about the whole situation. But in this video, I want to get down to business. I want to find the most logical reasoning as to why the Pistons would do this. Now, I'm not saying that I'm right. I may sound crazy. I may sound like a conspiracy theorist. I'm just looking at all of the facts and trying to piece together the best possible explanation that I could find as to why the Pistons would decide to do this with Bol. Now, before we get into all of that, please make sure you guys like this video. Today's like goal will be 100 likes, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Okay, so with my whole theory, the first thing that we will talk about is Denver lying. Bol Bol was on the Nuggets. Denver did not play him. But the question is, why did the Nuggets decide not to play him? Is it just because of Jokic, or are there other reasonings as to why the Denver Nuggets wouldn't play Bol Bol? I have seen some things out there that says that Bol Bol was lazy. That may be a reason why they didn't play him. Some people say that Bol Bol has character issues. That may be a reason why the Nuggets decided not to play him. But the one that we will go with in this video, and the one that I find the most interesting, is the theory that the reason why the Denver Nuggets didn't play Bol Bol is because of the health concerns of Bol Bol. So if we're running with that theory, you got to think about it like this. The Denver Nuggets, right? They're looking at Bol Bol. They have a player on their roster on the final year of his deal. They don't want to pay him. They believe that he has injury issues, and he's also an unproven player at this current point in his NBA career. And then also with the whole injury thing, the Nuggets must have thought that Bol's injuries was extremely concerning. So if it's possible injury, health concerns, if they're so concerning, they have to look to trade him. And if you're looking to trade a player like this with possible injury concerns and health issues, you have to get the best possible deal that you can. You can't, wait around. You can't do what the Pistons are doing right now with Jeremy Grant. You can't wait around. You just have to look for the best possible deal that you could find when it comes to a player who has possible health concerns. But with Bol Bol currently being so unproven in the NBA, his trade value must have not been as high as I once thought. I assumed that Bol Bol has some decently high trade value. I was like, okay, what is he, 21, 22 right now? He's a young man. He's a center with a lot of skill, a lot of potential. I assumed that his trade value was high, but it must not have been if the Pistons were able to get him so easily. So if there were few teams out there willing to go for someone like Bol, and if his trade value was low, that must have meant that there were probably only a few teams interested in Bol. And one of those few teams was probably the Pistons. We know how Troy Weaver does things. We know that he's really, really good when it comes to conversation. So the Nuggets were looking at it like this. We have a player on the final year of his deal, a player with health and possible injury concerns, and reports say that he's possibly lazy and has character issues. So they were looking to ship him as soon as they possibly could. They found a suitor in the Detroit Pistons. They didn't care what they were getting in return. They didn't care if it was just Rodney McGruder in the second round pick. They just wanted Bol off of the roster, so they decided to ship him out without really giving the Pistons the full details in terms of his health problems. So Bol Bol ends up arriving here in Detroit, and the Pistons, they have to examine him obviously, and you can't in 1 or 2 days, because he was only here for like 1 or 2 days. In those short day periods, you can't just look at a guy and be like, oh, he's lazy or has character issues. You can't determine that in only 2 days. So the only thing that they could really look at is his skill, which they probably saw in one practice, and his health and his body. So the medical experts took a look at him, and he did not pass the physical. So since he didn't pass the physical, the Pistons must have decided that his health was a real concern, a real problem, and must have also labeled him as unplayable, just like the Denver Nuggets had labeled him unplayable. And with Bol Bol being unproven right now, and then also with the fact that the Pistons, it was a low risk, high reward type of trade, the Pistons must have looked at it and was like, hey, why not just bring back Rodney McGruder? A lot of the guys in the locker room, they look up to him. He's one of the few veterans that we have. So why not just bring him back and get rid of this guy who didn't pass our physical, who's an unproven player right now, a young player on the final year of his deal. And the Pistons decided to let him go and void the trade. Now look, that may all be far-fetched, That may be completely wrong, but for what I've seen, this is just me piecing it all together, and that was the best possible explanation I could find as to why Bol Bol and the Pistons didn't become a true thing. Now, if that happened, personally, I still think that it's like, what are you doing? Like, even with the whole health problems, even if it was so chronic to the point where they didn't believe that he could play on a consistent level, I would still take a Bol Bol who can't play on a consistent level over Rodney McGruder. I would still take that, but that's just my personal opinion. I may be wrong with that. And again, before I end this video, I just want to say, I'm not saying that this happened. This is just me throwing out the best possible theory that I can, and this is me trying to find the most logical explanation as to what happened here. So Pistons fans, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Thank y'all for 4K, and I'm out.